I get a lot of questions about my monitor. It's a 4K 39-inch panel with a brilliant set of specs, but more importantly what we care about is how that size and that resolution are a perfect match. So right off the bat, that's what I want to talk about, the advantage of the particular size and resolution. A big worry with 4K monitors is that the unscaled text will be tiny, and window scaling is often pretty rubbish. On the other side of the coin, traditional 1080p televisions just don't have a high enough pixel count to be usable up close like a monitor. The brilliant thing about 4K at 39 inches is that it solves both of these problems, and it brings you lots of benefits in doing so. The pixel density of a 24-inch 1080p monitor is 92 ppi, the density of a 27-inch 1440p monitor is 109 ppi, and this 4K 39-inch monitor has a ppi of 113, perfect for using Windows without display scaling. Now, when I'm using my computer, it's for one of two things, either productivity or for gaming, with the former actually being more important to me, so let's start off with that. The amount of space that you have to work with here is simply crazy. You have a total of 8.2 million pixels to play around with, as opposed to 2 million with a 1080p monitor. Pixel for pixel, this can replace a setup with 4 1080p monitors. So what do you do with all that screen space? Well, most modern productivity applications are based off the idea of panels, small dockable interface elements that you can drag around the place. You'll be familiar with them if you've used Adobe Creative Suite, Unity, Unreal Engine, various IDEs, things like that. Having this much space means you can fit loads of things onto your display and really customize it. In Premiere Pro, I've got a massive timeline, loads of room for various effects, panels, scopes, and I've got enough room for a full 1080p preview window. In After Effects, I've got enough room to have multiple viewers and loads of panels so that all of my commonly used functions are accessible. I found that my video editing speed has went up significantly since actually starting to use this monitor, and really going back to anything less than 1440p, it's just kind of painful if I'm honest. Of course, a lot of software is not designed to take advantage of such a large resolution. In those cases, you can make great use of tiling. Windows 10 has brilliant built-in tiling features. For example, if you are writing an essay in school, well, you can have Word open in one half of your screen, Wikipedia open in the top quarter for referencing, of course, and YouTube in the bottom panel for, procrastinating. It's dead handy in times like that, but it's also dead handy when, for an example, I'm coding. I can have half my display be an IDE and the other half be a code reference. Really, really useful. But why not dual monitors? Well, the big advantage over having dual monitors is that this is quite a bit more compact, and it's also faster since you don't have to arc your head around the place all the time. That being said, there are still some times where you do want to have dual monitors, or even more, especially if you are playing a game and maybe want to have YouTube or Netflix open. Mostly that's an MMO use case. I personally use this along with two 24-inch 1080p monitors on desk arms as my home setup. With productivity covered, let's talk about entertainment. So gaming is a double-edged sword on this. If you can run games, they will look wonderful. The color replication is very good on this panel, and brightness is also good enough to do the job. The overall picture is fantastic, and having such a large and crisp display results in a very immersive gaming experience. It also works brilliantly with World of Warcraft, which of course most of you play. With so many pixels, you can build a very comprehensive user interface without clogging up your entire screen with bars and panels. That would of course apply to other MMOs where you can customize your UI. World of Warcraft actually runs fine, easily sitting above 60 FPS in raids on a single GTX 980. RPGs play especially well on this monitor because it offers such an immersive window into the game world. FPS games are totally playable, but the ideal FPS monitor would probably be a 27-inch 144Hz panel, not this. Sometimes the drawback is that running games at their native resolution of 4K on this monitor can be really tricky. Often this is due to optimization oddities, or in the case of say Bethesda, just a long tradition in complete technical incompetence. Running games at 4K 60 FPS with high settings is going to require very good graphics hardware, I'm personally using two GTX 980s. This generally works well if the game supports SLI. The majority of games do, but there are still issues which crop up from time to time. Often you will have to drop some quality settings. I find this to be a worthy trade-off though for such a crisp and impressive looking image. A great trend actually now is that many games are allowing users to change the render scale within the options menu. This gives you granular resolution control, which really allows you to dial in performance settings and get something as close as possible to the monitor's native resolution. Also, the thought of such a large display being up close might be jarring at first for gamers because it's not really what many of us are used to, but you quickly become accustomed to it, though it isn't ideal for say an FPS or a fast RTS like StarCraft, where you ideally want to have as much of the game located in your central vision rather than your peripheral vision. Still, it does work and it is comfortable because the monitor will be a bit further back than say a 24-inch would be. So in conclusion, this is a fantastic choice if it fits your needs. If you are productivity focused, then this is a fantastic choice. For gaming, it's really good if you've got the hardware to drive it and understand the drawbacks, but otherwise, it'll be 1 or 2 video card generations before this thing is actually properly accessible. So in conclusion, this is a fantastic choice if it fits your needs. If you're productivity focused, then it's pretty much perfect. For gaming, it's really good if you have the hardware to drive it and understand the drawbacks, but otherwise it will be 1 or 2 video card generations before this is properly accessible. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that's answered people's questions about the monitor and maybe given you some ideas as to the potential of this form factor, especially if you are, a coder, a video editor, basically anyone who's like a creative professional or whatever, should have pretty good use for this form factor. Anyway, thanks for watching the video and I'll see you next time.